video on bread soup, but not the Italian type of bread soup. More like using bread in a soup as a thickening agent. So, like the Italians make a bread soup, and it's basically lots of vegetables and then dried bread put into the soup. I suppose sometimes there's big kind of croutons fried crisp, but most of the time just old stale bread put into the soup. And as long as you use, I could never really understand it until I had some. But it's probably because I couldn't understand, like, why would you put like white bread into a soup? But until you use it, a really good quality bread, then you kind of don't see it. Like cheap white bread just kind of goes soggy in a soup, and I was always kind of like, oh, that's a bit rubbish. It's that, I don't know why you do it. But if you use expensive bread, well, no, it's not expensive bread because I make it myself, so therefore it's dead cheap. But if we were using a good quality bread with full of flavour, then obviously that's vastly improves it. And then there's bread sauce, which is basically milk which has been infused with cloves and onion, and then bread added to it and then pureed down or grated into it, so it forms a bread sauce, which you have traditionally with game and chicken and turkey, which I was never really a fan of that either, but probably because I had it with cheap white bread. If it had been nice bread, it would have been different. I'm waffling, and I should be cracking on with this. So kind of thought, let's use bread as a thickening agent in the basis of it is going to be like an onion soup. But not like a French onion soup where it's caramelized, but just like a white onion soup, which we're going to, should be measuring this, see how much bread we've got. But like, you use it like so puree it up, and we'll kind of see how it kind of goes. So that was 30 grams. Need more than that. We need more than that. Well, let's get more, and then I'm thinking my way through this. I haven't got a plan, so my idea is that I'll just think my way through it, and then we'll kind of see how it turns out. So it's my homemade bread. There's a video. It took me a while to get good at bread, and then there is about 350 grams worth of onions, which I've cooked in a little bit of water. I'll say I don't want the crust going, I don't want the hard outside crust going in, I just want the bread on the inside. So what's that weigh? That's about 70 grams. So we'll see how it works, we'll see how that works. And then I've got chicken stock cubes, and then I was half thinking about putting some herbs in, but I don't think I can be bothered. But maybe we'll taste it and we'll kind of see how we go. So, I'm going to put some milk in as well to make it nice. The milk on the back is something else. I'm making yogurt, so I just need to keep an eye on that. So let's bring. I've cooked the onions in that water, so let's just bring up to temperature, and then we'll put in half this bread, soften it, and then puree it, and then kind of see what kind of yield we get out of it and what kind of flavour we get out of it. The majority of the flavour in this is going to come from the chicken stock cubes. Oh yeah, so while I remember, I made a soup the other day. I couldn't get any chicken stock cubes, so I used vegetable stock cubes. And even though it was a mushroom soup, it ended up tasting more of vegetables than it did of mushrooms. So if you want in your mushroom soup to actually taste like mushrooms, I'd advise using chicken stock rather than vegetable. Right, so that's about 35 grams. Is that about 35 grams? Yeah, it's about 35 grams. So it's certainly going to need 2 stock cubes in it, I reckon. And I always reckon with stock cubes that you put in double the amount of a stock cube in than what the manufacturers say. So if they say 1 stock cube for 500 millilitres of liquid, I say use 2. I'm not going to put any salt in. The salt and the flavour is going to come from these stock cubes. I need a cloth. put everything into wash. So that's that. Hopefully my stick blender will reach. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We will make it reach. It will. We'll just move it down. Right, so that's about 35 grams worth of bread. And we'll. Oh, I need to boil the kettle. So we can speed up the process. We'll just. That's what I wanted. We can always add more. So we can always add more, can't we? So turn that down. Fast enough. So we might have to put up with the kettle boiling. So do we think no bread? Yeah, let's put all that bread in. Let's put all that bread in. And then we'll taste it now, and then that'll give us some kind of indication of what it's going to taste like. So I suppose it's a couple of days older, this bread, so then the weight of the bread might be slightly off if you're using fresh bread. Looks alright. That looks alright. See, that'll taste just nice as it is, if I'm honest. Vegetable stock and onion and those bits of bread will taste nice. Yeah, it tastes nice already. That was okay, that's fine. So, move that out of there. Move that onto there. Good job of cleaning the cooker. And then let's puree up this and see what happens. Smells like Christmas. I think we're going to get a lot more bread than that. Okay, let's have a bit of a taste. So this is me mostly faffing. That's nice. Right, we can put more bread in. So, I'll chop some more bread up. We'll add some of that. You don't need to see that bit, but otherwise it just gets... It's the bread chopping channel, which is a bit boring, isn't it? Right, so I'll chop some more bread. So it's taken it up to 150 grams worth of bread. And then we've got 200 millilitres of milk. So we want that for a little bit of richness. Cream would be better, but this is a budget thing. So it's we're going on that. So I kind of think it's I'm very concerned about the cost of food and still being able to feed yourself relatively well on a tighter budget. You know, like what can you do with less money? So let's have a taste. I think that's going to be enough milk in there. That's pretty good, isn't it? That's pretty good. So let's bring it up to temperature, boil it a bit, and then we'll want that milk catching at the back. So I'll pause, and then when it's started to simmer, then we'll puree again, and then we'll see if we need to add any more liquid. Well, I'm probably going to eat all that for my lunch. Alright, so that's hot enough. Let's turn that gas off. We'll pure this down. Although that's nice, it's like that. You know, it would be nice to eat like that. stick blenders are good, but what I have found over the years is that they don't puree things when they're at a certain. So if there's too much liquid in, what am I trying to say? I don't know what I'm trying to say. They need, like sometimes they won't get as thin as you want, as smooth as you want them to do, because there's just too much bulk in there, too much vegetables, and not enough liquid to kind of get it smooth. So that's 100 milliliters. That's alright, that's a good enough consistency. That I might need that. Alright, I need another stock cube in it. We'll see. So, how's it taste? Consistency's alright. That's really nice. That's really nice. It needs some pepper in it. Oh, do you know? I knew I should have put some more pepper in the pepper mill yesterday. When it was running out yesterday, I should have put some more in, and I wouldn't have been disappointed today, would I? What's the rule? If a job's gonna take you 5 minutes, you should do it there and then. Don't put it off. So, a bit more pepper. I'm not going to put another stock cube in. I'm going to put a bit of free running salt in, because the free running salt will melt straight away into the soup. So a pinch of salt, and then another stick blend off camera just to get it all mixed in. I mean, it's basically a carb soup, isn't it? Well, you know, but not dissimilar from potato soup, but thickened with bread. So that's a nice consistency, is that? And that's surprisingly delicious. So we could add some more herbs to that, couldn't we? Let's see what ratio we've got. Let's see what yield we've got. Won't make a mess of. Make a mess of that bowl, it'll be fine. And then my new scales have got millilitres on them instead of just grams and ounces. So we can tell how many millilitres of soup we have made. There we go, just over about 1.1 litre. About 1.1 litres. There we go. Too much for that bowl. I think I'm going to eat all that soup. So there we go. Right, so summing up, it certainly needs 2 stock cubes in it, and you certainly need to use good quality bread that's got some flavour to it. I wouldn't use the crusts because they wouldn't puree down just as well. So, but there you go, bread soup. More of a watered down bread sauce, but delicious, is that? That's delicious. So you've got some old bread, you've got some stock cubes in the cupboard, or you should have, and you've got some onions, and you've got a bit of milk. We can make a cheap soup. I'll do a costing and I'll see how much it is, but I don't think much, even though the cost of food has gone up. You can use small cheap onions and bread if you make it yourself. It's not much money at all, even though the price of flour's gone up. So there we go, delicious, a success. I'm going to enjoy that.